Episode 60 of the Paws Up podcast. My name is Kevin Barral. I am here with my co-hosts Jake Gibson and Jonathan Mayer. It's been 60 episodes of this podcast. We have a very, very special guest. Last time we had him on was on episode 10. So it's been 50 episodes since, over a year since we last had FIU football coach Mike MacIntyre. Coach, thanks for joining us, and we're very, very excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and I enjoy doing this. I didn't know if y'all were going to ever invite me back, so thanks for inviting me back. I appreciate it.
Had to make it for yeah, it's been a long time, but we had to make it for
February the 6th.
I think that was right after signing date.
It was pretty close to,
yeah, around that time.
After that last signing date,
Yep. So it's been a while, since we had you on. You joined FIU in 2021. You're now 2 seasons in. Just kind of take us through what FIU's been like for you. You've been working with Scott Carr, and 2 straight 4-8 seasons. Not obviously the result you wanted, but a lot of positivity in terms of the recruits you've brought in, and a lot of overall engagement that the community has now given you guys here at football.
Yeah, it's been awesome. From Ken Jessel, the president, and Scott Carr, they've been incredible, and everybody associated with the program and the university. It has been excellent. And we're moving forward, and we're making steps in the right direction. There's no doubt about it, and we definitely expect to do better on the field this year. We've had some really good moments. We've had some tough moments, but we have made progress. There's no doubt about that.
You're now entering year 3 with the Panthers. How maybe different is your mindset going into year 1, now going into year 3 with this team?
Well, I definitely feel like this team understands what we want to do, how we want to be as a football team, how we care for each other, the attention to detail we have to have, and the overall. We've got the most experienced team I've had since I've been here, and so that's excellent. The first year I think we were here, I think we had the first or youngest team in America playing experience wise and returning experience, and last year we were doing good until spring portal hit. But this year the spring portal hit, and we did not lose any starters or any things like that. There's always a few kids that want to be able to play more that aren't playing as much. But that's been a good experience. And so, this year we've got a lot of returning players and backup players that have played a lot. So that gives you the ability to keep expounding and keep growing. And there's nothing like experience that is playing experience. And I saw that as a spring one on the spring, and I'm excited about this fall for sure.
Yeah, and really quick before Jake keeps going, just expand on that a little bit. FIU, I believe, ranked 34th in FBS and returning players 68%. So definitely huge compared to what you had last year, Coach.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And then some of the young men that we've added to our program also had a lot of playing experience where they were before. And that's what I've noticed in the portal more and more. It's more playing experience where they were before, especially if they've been in a school a few years. And it's been a big help to us. And we were really impressed with a lot of those young men in spring practice.
So, Coach, again, thanks for being on. But I wanted to ask you. So you've had the pleasure.
I didn't know if I was talking to Kiwan or not. You got the number 1 jersey on there, so
because it's so good looking. And,
exactly right.
Absolutely. You've had the pleasure of coaching in a few different universities nationwide. That includes Duke, San Jose State, Colorado, Memphis, just name a few, right? Generally speaking here, what would you say is the most unique aspect about the FIU football program that you've never seen in your past years of coaching?
Great. Some people might not, some of the areas I've been to might get mad that I say this, and I've said this multiple times, and I do believe it with all my heart and soul, just being a coach for this long and recruiting in so many different areas. Football is in the DNA in South Florida. Absolutely. It's a badge of honor to be a football player. And that's not that way everywhere. It's not. And that's a big difference I see down here in high school football. Also in, the college football is so loved and everything here and in South Florida and all through the state of Florida. and of course in the Southern football world that we live in. It's extremely important. I think that's the main difference. Every school has its different niches that it fits into. But here I'm excited about the talent and how we are recruiting this area hard. Even our transfers, most of our transfers that come back are from this area, which is a big deal for us. We want to kind of be, South Florida, Dade County All-Star team, the best we can be is what we're wanting. So that's a big thing that I see as far as the area. And, FIU, what is there? I don't know, close to 300,000 graduates that live in Dade, Broward, South Florida. So everywhere you go, there are FIU people. And so the better we keep getting on the football field, then I think you'll still see more and more increase in our program, in the following, and in the reputation that we're going to keep gaining.
I can only imagine an honorable mention kind of answer that question would be the sun, because it's a scorcher out there right now. My goodness. Yeah. So through everything you've done at FIU so far, Coach, it seems like Scott Carr has been there at your side, not just at football, but even casually at other sporting events like basketball and baseball. So just what's your take on the work that Scott has done so far at FIU, as well as the road ahead for FIU athletics that you and him have sort of concocted?
It'd take me the whole podcast to tell you what I think of the work that Scott Carr's done. I think, number one, he is relentless in every aspect of the athletic program, not just football, and trying to grow the brand, grow the programs, and the significance it has for the university and the area. And he cares about every sport. He is into it, and it means a lot to him. And I think he's done an absolutely phenomenal job. And I kind of like the Energizer Bunny. He doesn't stop going. And that's exciting for all of us coaches and in every sport here, how much it means to him for all of us to be successful. And so I'm excited about, and I really enjoy working with Scott, and it's an honor to work with him.
I know you talk a lot about the brand and enhancing the brand. And obviously we've seen it, times down, on the highway, we see advertisements of FIU football, and even we have events such as the Paws Up Tour we had a couple weeks ago, which is overall just enhancing the brand, promoting the brand, getting alumni and people to be excited about, the football program and athletics as a whole. So what is that like to be able to have those events and helping alongside to help, promoting the brand and promoting the program overall?
Well, it's exciting. I love getting out and telling people about our program and meeting with different people that have passion about our football program, but also passion about FIU and all it stands for, and then it's done for so many people in the area, and so that's exciting. And the more we're getting a lot more media attention, a lot more I guess you call it Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want, Twitter, with all the different things that Scott and Hunter and everybody's doing to help our program get out there, and so that's given us a lot more attention. And quite frankly, that's helped us a lot in the recruiting field. And then playing on, a lot of people, well, you got to play October nights. Well, really, that's tremendous exposure for our program and for our university. And it's really, the way it's set up, it really doesn't bother you because we have time off before and you have time off at the end of it. You just got to change your Tuesday or Wednesday. You got to think of that as a Saturday. And so it's been awesome doing all of that with the Conference USA, and so we'll just keep growing and keep pushing.
Yeah, I know I'm ready for some more some weeknight football. It doesn't get better,
Mm-hmm.
But talking a little bit, you hit it on it for a second. Is recruiting. Obviously, for you coaches, it's nonstop. You're always recruiting, always finding players, and in this world, in 2024, it's evolved to the point of NIL. In transfer portal. So from your perspective, how has that evolved? And it's ever growing. There's so much changes, but what have you seen so far and really in the state of college football?
Right. Well, change is part of life. That's the one thing you're going to have to adapt with. And that's the same thing within any business you're in. And so the business I'm in is college football. And the thing is ours has kind of been accelerated, correct, in the last 3 or 4 years. So there's been a quantum leap, I would say, to be honest with you, on how everything's viewed from the college athlete, revenue sharing, NIL, transfer, all of that is a drastic change from where it stood for, I don't know, 100 years. I'll just use that as an example. And so it's all changed kind of in a blink of an eye. So everybody's adjusting. And, as we all know, we all read about sports. It looks like there's going to be another huge change here in the next month.
Yeah.
And before the 25 season starts, we'll be sitting here talking about all kind of different things. But I'm excited. I think that if you're sitting still the whole time, it will get stale. The way we've changed it and keep growing it, eventually it'll all settle in, and it'll be good for all aspects of college football. And I think that the way we're headed, it's such a huge change. It's kind of throwing everybody off guard a little bit. And I'm excited about to see where it all ends up and goes forward from here.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about this past season for you guys. Unfortunately, 4-8, but got off to a great start. A lot of positives. Kejuan gets those starts under his belt. You see a lot of, Keyshawn Owen, Shamari Lawrence, that backfield duo look really good. A lot of good pieces on the defense. Just talk to us a little bit about that season as a whole, where it may have gone wrong for you guys in terms of, after starting 3-1, you end up 4-8 back-to-back. Obviously not something you want to see as a coach. Maybe some kind of felt like almost a mirror of what hadn't happened last year. You're 4-4 entering the final stretch, lose those 4 in a row. But how would you say the season went overall?
Well, we definitely made improvement. There's no doubt that team could have beat our team the year before by, I think, 21, 28 points, to be honest with you. But things just didn't fall in place in some games there. And I think Kejuan did some really good things, and then we all kind of grew together through the process of everything. And I think that with the experience we have coming back on both lines, and then the skill people we have coming back, I'm excited about where we'll be. And the maturity factor and the playing time always, as the season wears on, that always makes a big difference, because all of a sudden you're not the same team week to week. Everybody thinks you're the same. You're not the same team week to week. So the people replacing those young men, the more experience they have, the more they've been around it, the more they've played, they play better. And so that's where I see a difference with this football team. As our season goes along, I see us being able to sustain better than we did last year.
So I know a tough decision that you and the offensive coaching staff had to make last season was, of course, starting lights out Kejuan Jenkins from week 1 and beyond after week 0 against Louisiana Tech. Just looking back, just how difficult of a decision was that to make, to go from Grayson James to Jenkins for pretty much the rest of the season? And how satisfied are you with how that specifically turned out for the Panthers?
But it's, there's always different tough decisions. The hard thing is anytime you make a change at quarterback, everybody notices. Of course, you make changes at other positions too that same week, but nobody really talks about it, right? So that's always the key thing, is the quarterback position gets all the credit and gets all the blame. And and we felt like that was the right decision to make at the time, and still do. And once we knew we made that decision, really, unless it was just a total flop, so to speak, that Kejuan was going to be in there and play to keep getting him better. And because the more you play, the better the more experience you have, the better you are. You see that all the time in the NFL too. Guys with experience, the amount of reps they get in college, that always helps them more in the pros. Same way in college, the more reps you can get, the better you're going to get, the speed of the game. And Kejuan had some excellent games, and I believe that our football team is going to, and him himself will be better this year than they were last year. Everything kind of slows down. You see it a little bit better. You understand a little bit better, and you can you execute and make more plays. So I was pleased with Kejuan and the progress that he's made playing last year. And, of course, this spring he really took off to another level, I thought.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk a bit more about this, where Lights is at right now. But, again, talking a bit about last season, there were some real high highs for this FIU team, including that early winning streak in the first few games. So if you had to pick a single game from last year that you felt was the best overall showcase of the Panthers at their best, what would you say it was?
That's a great question. Of course, the North Texas game was like one of those roller coaster rides, right? It's a great game to watch and to coach in. I think that was probably like one of the most exciting games. That the Sam Houston was really exciting at the end. The UConn game, the first half was phenomenal. The second half we didn't move as well as you like, but they battled and played. So probably, I guess the UConn game defensively and offensively was a good game for us there on that.
So last season was also the first year of this new look Conference USA, right? You brought in the additions of Liberty, who of course made a New Year's Six game. You also had New Mexico State, Jacksonville State made some bowl games, and Sam Houston State, who didn't get off to the best of start, but still had a pretty good end of the season. All of which were opponents that FIU took on at some point last year. Now that you have that experience under your belt of seeing what this new Conference USA looks like, what do you make of those opponents and what they will bring to the conference specifically?
Well, I think they're all good opponents, and they've all had, Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State have had a phenomenal history in the 1AA ranks, and now they're stepping up. And football is extremely important at both those places. They're building on their stadium. They're building a new athletic facility. At Jacksonville State, it's phenomenal what they have. And then Sam Houston State is building a brand new stadium and unbelievable facilities they're going to have here in a couple of years. And then, New Mexico State with Coach Kill, he's not there anymore, but what they bring to the table. They had an excellent football team and did really well. And then Liberty is, the closest thing we will play all year at any Group of 5 team to a Power 5 Group of 5 football team. Yeah, they have the best facilities. I would say if you've been to them in Group of 5, they have indoor facilities, following, phenomenal. Their offensive line last year was the best offensive line we played all year by far. And the quarterback is extremely talented. So they're the Group of 5 team in our league. The best one in our league after coming out of last year, and they're also the best Group of 5 team in America. So they're exceptional, and so we're all of us are shooting to try to knock them off the pedestal this year.
To quickly piggyback off of that, to talk a bit more about what to expect this season, Conference USA, of course, is introducing the Kennesaw State Owls, who FIU will take on towards the latter end of the season. Just what was your initial reaction to the news that Kennesaw State would be eventually joining, and now that this is a matchup that's going to happen between FIU and KSU, just how excited are you to head there and take them on?
Right. Well, Kennesaw State's in a hotbed of football, also of high school football and college football. It's a very good area. Outside of Atlanta, we're outside of Miami. There's a lot of similarities there, and football is extremely important in the state of Georgia. And Kennesaw State, I've known Brian Bohannon, their head coach. I was a graduate assistant at Georgia, and he was a football player at Georgia. So I've known him since I was, 24 years old. And so he's done a great job there. And they're an up and coming program in a area that their school is growing. I would say similar to FIU, it's a school that just keeps growing and able to do a lot there in the greater Atlanta area. And he's always done an excellent job there, and them stepping up I think is a good process, because I think it's a campus that will keep growing in an area that will be a big benefit. I also like being able to have a short flight to Atlanta instead of some of our other flights. Right. And then we play Jacksonville State, which is basically right out. You go into Birmingham or Atlanta right in there. So that's good too.
How rough are those flights to Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Oh, they're long flights. So you fly into El Paso and then you bus over to Las Cruces. So
right, okay.
It's, those are long flights, but it's El Paso is an interesting area, and our kids like seeing that. It's really an interesting area.
And then one last thing to kind of wrap up the last season and overall is Donovan Manuel had a terrific year at linebacker, and a couple weeks ago was signed as an undrafted free agent with the Vikings. So talk a little about that for him to be able to have that opportunity, and just coming off just a tremendous year, getting some record book honors as well. Just talk about a little about him.
Yeah, Donovan, number one, is a phenomenal young man. Graduated, has his diploma, is going to do great in football, but he's also going to do phenomenal in life. He had a heck of a season for us last year and a season before. He was a team captain. Could not have asked more out of Donovan, and as a player and as a person and as a leader on our football team. I sure hope he makes the Vikings. I think he definitely has a good shot. That's not just me saying that to say something nice. I think he has a real shot of making that team because he can play on the different special teams, and he's extremely bright. So he'll learn the defense quickly and do well there. So hopefully he's able to hang around to be able to show himself. And because once you put him on the football field, he kind of goes to another level because he's so physical. He's a quick twitch thinker. I like to say he can see something and diagnose it quick. Some people can't. He can. And I think when he gets to that level, the game will slow down for him. It won't speed up. That's because his mind is so good at seeing things, and his instincts and his ability to learn gives him a lot of confidence.
All right, Kevin, is it time for a quick news break?
Let's do it. News break.
All righty, it's time for Jake's news break. Your look at all things FIU athletics and just FIU in general. So let's actually start off with Conference USA. They recently announced their 12th full-time member, the Missouri State Bears. Hailing from Springfield and the Missouri Valley Conference, the Bears will be making their FBS debut in the 2025 season, as well as the rest of their Conference USA athletic teams in the fall 2025 and spring 2026 semesters, alongside the Delaware Blue Hens. Keeping up with Conference USA, they have also released the Commissioner's Academic Medal winners, which consist of a total of 806 student athletes across Conference USA who have maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.75 or higher. For FIU, that includes 9 football players, 12 baseball players, 9 beach volleyball players, 9 women's soccer players, and 7 softball players, among other sports here at FIU Athletics. So again, congratulations to all the players from all the sports who managed to maintain a GPA of 3.75 or higher and get on this very prestigious list. Finally, FIU Athletics and Ocean Bank have announced an extension of their naming rights partnership, which will consist of a $5.6 million donation to the athletics program, alongside a 10-year naming rights extension of the Ocean Bank Convocation Center, the home of FIU basketball and volleyball, among other events that go on there. So that was your quick look at news break. By the way, real quick, Coach, what are your thoughts on Missouri State and Delaware, some of the future members that you're going to have to be taking on?
Yes, Delaware is another historic program in 1AA.
Yep.
They've had great teams there. I mean, phenomenal teams through the years. And they're the main state university, which
That's
is really
cool.
interesting, right? So that's always means a lot, and they get a lot of funds because of that. And so Delaware has built a phenomenal facility. You ought to see it. It's incredible, and it ranks up there with anybody's. And I think that's something you ought to look at, their facility they've built now. And then Missouri State is a excellent program. They've got a nice stadium, nice facilities. They've had really good programs through the years in all sports. And I know they'll bring a lot to the table there also. So I thought those were 2 good additions. And, Delaware has a huge football statement over the years. Kind of the wing tee and all the things they've done. This is way back. So Delaware's a historic football program.
Yeah, definitely. So both of those teams that are joining, as well as Kennesaw, 3 great football programs. Coach, I want to ask you, before we start talking 2024 expectations for FIU football, talk to us a little bit about the recruiting class that you brought in this past offseason. Pretty big one, a lot of Florida-based players, and some really nice transfer portal pickups.
Yeah, we were really excited about that. We felt like that we hit all areas like we always want to do. I thought that went well. We're excited about it, Coach, all the Florida guys we got. And, the one area we just talked about, Donovan Manuel leaving, and the year before we felt like we needed to get some more inside linebackers. We felt like we were a little thin there, and getting Dwight Nunu and Travion Barnes and Josiah has really made a big difference for us there. And so I thought they did really well in that area. So that was good. So we're excited about the guys we brought in, and a lot of Florida guys, which is exciting, and they're all bought in.
And I guess just really quick to follow up with the spring portal, it's definitely feels like one of the crazier ones we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
From your perspective, how crazy has it been? I know you thankfully didn't lose any starters, but definitely lost a couple guys out there. But just, I guess, looking from the outside in, how has it been seeing, I guess, all these Power 5 teams make big statements? You see Miami picking up some big names and a lot of movement there.
Right. I think there is a lot of movement there, but over the years, you can look at it now that the 3 years, or is it 4 years now, or is it 3 years that they've had the spring portal? I think this is the 4th year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And so we've really studied that in a lot of those too. Just like anything, the guys that you get in January, percentage-wise, play a lot more than the guys you get in May or June. So because it's hard for them to pick everything up, learn everything, get in there and go. Everybody else has already had spring practice, all those kids. So they're kind of coming in like a high school kid does. And it's hard for a high school kid to pick everything up really, as quick in fall camp, right? So I think that the spring adjustments are good. But I think the people that come in January is where you really ought to look at it if it's going to make a huge difference for a football team, to be honest with you.
And then obviously looking over at this season, you guys had a very strong spring. Just where do you guys see yourself right now in terms of expectations? Obviously, I think the big one would be make that bowl game this time around. You guys have gotten off to great starts, and you've seen the flashes of a very good team. Just talk to us a little bit about the expectations entering this season, and then, kind of what are they?
Yeah, our young men want to be successful, and they have that in their DNA now. They want to go win. They want to prove how good they are, and I see that in them, and which is exciting. You don't have to tell them certain things to do anymore. They're doing them. They're holding each other accountable. They're pushing. There's more depth. Like I've always said, if you can look over your right shoulder and your left shoulder as a player and nobody can beat you out, you're not going to be the best player you can be. And you're not going to be the best team you can be, because in our game, injuries happen. Different things happen. So you have to have depth. And we have more depth than we've ever had here since the years I've been here, and that with experience. So that to me I know for a fact that will make a difference. And hopefully it makes a really big difference for us as we go down as the season goes. So I'm extremely excited about this season and this team.
Talk a little more about, some of the positions that maybe you've been excited about, maybe positions that maybe have kind of grown over the past couple of years that you've seen at FIU, and just maybe different positions that really have stood out to you so far heading into 2024.
Well, we lost Chris Mitchell, who was a great player and a great person at receiver. So I've had a lot of people ask me about that. And, Eric Rivers and Dean Patterson had a heck of a spring. They're really good players. And then we had a young man come in named Nana Burris. We lost Jalen Bracey, and Nana had a phenomenal spring, and Ross Fournay. And we had some of the younger guys, but those guys look really, really good and look able to kind of take the next step, just like Chris Mitchell did, and just like Jalen Bracey did. So I'm excited about those. Our tight end room, Josiah Mamam and Rocky Beers are really good players and can do a lot of things there. I'm excited about those guys. And then, our O-line and D-line is deeper and stronger and more experienced, which will make a big, big difference for us. And so I'm excited about those guys. And, we were able to get in a couple outside backers, Giovanni Davis, and he's one of them that's really showed a lot of ability to pass rush, which has been really exciting for us. Along with Eddie Walls. And then we have Todrick Bruton, who plays a true freshman last year. So I'm excited about those guys and all the things that they can bring to the table. So it's been good.
I want to shout out one more is Todrick Bruton. They just posted a video of him playing. I guess he's a world-renowned chess player.
Yeah, he played chess growing up all the time, and he's playing. Matter of fact, this morning in the office, he was in here, and he looked at me and said, "I'm looking for that guy that beat me because I keep teasing him. That guy beat you. I mean, he snowed you. He had you talking, and you weren't concentrating. He played you right there. I'm going to find him. I've been walking around trying to find him on campus." I said, "Okay, you let me make sure you video that when you put that on your phone. I want to see you beat him next time." Yeah, Todrick's a phenomenal young man, and good football player, really intelligent young man from Northwestern High School. He's a bull, and so we're excited about Todrick and his future.
And I guess one position that has some normalcy is quarterback. Obviously, Kevon Jenkins, lights out, a great freshman year, and heading into year 2, under center, the Miami guy. How has he evolved in a college football landscape and really training into a big sophomore year for him?
Right. Well, one of the things he's gained, I said it before, but his body looks different. I mean, he played last year like 175 to 180, and now he's in the mid 190s and strong, and his arm has always been extremely accurate. Now it's stronger with the deep ball and different things like that. So, and he's seeing things quicker and better at the quarterback position. So I thought his spring went like I thought it would, which was good. And he took another step, and I think you might have, if you watch the spring game, I think you could see that in the spring game in the limited plays he played, the way he was getting rid of the ball on time and accurate and doing those things. So I'm looking for a big year out of Kevon. And Hayden Carlson is doing really well also, and Chaden Perry and Amari Jones really improved. He had the Achilles tendon the year before, and this spring he looked like he was quicker and faster than he was before he hurt his Achilles because he's lost a little weight and looking good. So I was pleased with those guys.
You also made some coaching. You brought in Coach KU. You promoted Anthony Gator to linebacker, right. Not linebacker, cornerbacks coach. Talk to us a little bit about those guys and just what they bring to the table for this football program.
Yeah. Gator was coaching our outside linebackers last year, and he's naturally a DB. And when the opening came over, when DVD left, I talked to him, and he wanted to move to corner, which I thought, and I wanted to move him to corner. It worked out great. He's doing a great job there. And then we were able to get KU to come in, and he's played outside backer, he's played defensive end. His pass rush technique, teaching, and his understanding of the game, was really excited about getting him from the University of Houston, and he's coaching the NFL too, and so it's and he was a first round draft pick out of USC. So he's done an excellent job for us, and I think both of those moves on defense have helped us defensively, and I'm excited about seeing that result on the field.
Not to necessarily preview this matchup, but you guys are heading over to Bloomington to take on Indiana for week 1. Just talk to us a little bit about that program and how big for you guys as a program is it to go play these Power 5 schools. I think I asked you this when you guys went over to Arkansas to do it, but for not just football, for several programs to go and play Power 5 schools, give those student athletes the experience to go to these type of environments.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for us playing there on the opening day, and they got a whole new staff, and coach has come over from James Madison, where he was really successful, and had it seems like they had the whole James Madison team come over, but it seems like they've got quite a few James Madison transfers, and a quarterback transfer in that looked good in the spring game when you watch it on the television on the Big Ten Network. And I tell you that they're big and powerful. It's going to be a heck of a game, and it's fun for our young men to go there, and it's also a thing that we're able to help our athletic department, with the big payday we get too. So that's a big part of it, to help our overall athletic department, not just football. We help every sport, and help out Scott Carr and all the things that they're trying to do. So our kids are excited about going to play it, and it'll be a great way to start the season. And we'll go up there to Bloomington, Indiana, and play. I'm pretty sure there'll be a packed house and an exciting atmosphere.
I know we could spend all day talking about some of the most marquee matchups, like some of these non-conference opponents like Central Michigan and Monmouth, but I really wanted to know your take on the Florida Atlantic Owls, because be honest, as much as the average FIU fan probably does not like that team in Boca, it was weird not playing them last season. However, they're going to be back. This will be your second time taking them on, and for many fans, it's the biggest rivalry FIU has. So just what are your thoughts not only on the state of the Shula Bowl rivalry, but also the state of that team in Boca Raton?
Yeah, I'm glad that we're playing them again. And you're right, not playing them last year. I only played them the first year, but that's definitely a big game for us and and for them. And going there to play this year will be exciting. And yeah, that's gonna be a really good game for us. And they've kind of taken it to FIU over the years here recently, and so hopefully we're ready to play and be able to put on a good show and compete with FAU. And we play for the Shula Bowl trophy, which is a big deal. Yeah. And we would like to see it at our place. It's been at their place for a while, and so we need to go play better and hopefully do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Rivalries matter in college football. They can produce such amazing, just lights out games. Just
lights out.
Stuck that there.
Yeah, good cue.
Do people still talk to you about that clip? I know it's circulated. It's done the rounds. That
yeah, they do. They sure do. And that was a big day for our program, and I think we'll see huge benefits from that signing day, as we have already. But I think we'll see even more. It'd be exciting. They'll probably be playing that. Hopefully, they're playing that a lot more this year. Remembering that day as Lights Out keeps playing well.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so let's get into some of the fan questions that we had some fans submit to us. There were a few good ones that I'd like to ask you, Coach. So let's get right into it. The first one is from Turner, who is just an FIU fan. Turner asks, what things are the players doing off the field to serve and impact their community?
That's great. First of all, they're doing phenomenal academically, and they'll be announcing some of those things that we've done, the best in the history of the school, really 3 semesters in a row, and other APR things they'll announce. So that shows you they're doing well. And then they're doing a lot of different community service all over. And then we do a thing called Be the Match for bone marrow donations. And our team goes all over campus and does that. And we've signed up close to 1,000 people that can match to save people's lives. And it's been awesome. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. And it's very beneficial. And it's been an awesome experience. And the young men have done a great job of getting people to sign up to for bone marrow matching for people that have bone marrow cancer.
Next question, Rod, who is an FIU alumnus, I guess is the correct term. He asks, last season, in my opinion, the offensive line was the team's biggest problem. What can we expect from them this year since Houston's gone and Bach can't play? How are the 3 offensive linemen that came from the portal doing?
Doing well. We're excited about those guys. I tell you, Nair Jackson has gotten better. Jaheim Buchanan, who we played a little bit last year, had a phenomenal spring at center. The young men that we brought in, Ben Schellenbach has really done well. And Jaleel Davis was doing really well too, which excited about those guys. Also, just seeing the way they are working together, the more strength, the more power they have, has really been a big part. JD Lee has gone to another level this spring. He can play all 3 spots, but all center, guard, tackle. I've been really impressed with him. Mikael Rabus is a young man we redshirted last year, played a little bit from Norland High School. He's 6'5", he's 300 pounds. He's looking really good. Jackson Schultz, who played a little bit last year, a transfer we got from Texas State, that 6'7", 315 pounds, had a really good spring. So we're deeper, we're better. Travis Burke is getting better and better and better. So I'm excited to see what those guys do this fall, and feel really good about the O-line and their understanding of our system. And that's a big part of that picture too. So I've been pleased with them, and we'll definitely be better on the O-line, play better than we did last year for sure.
So Trevor, who is just an FIU fan, asks, would you rather be Jay or Johnston MacIntyre? I don't know how you can answer that, Coach.
I'd rather be Mike MacIntyre.
Best answer. And to make matters worse, Trevor followed up and said, would you rather be Luke Ebsmeyer or Brandon Buckner?
there's no doubt I'd rather be Mike MacIntyre than those two. I know who Trevor is, by the way. So,
yeah,
give it away. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay,
That's good.
cool. Jason, who is an FIU alumnus, asks, which early enrollee or enrollees were you most impressed with? Pretty straightforward question there.
Great question. All of the guys have done really well. I would say that Nana Burris really did excellent in the spring as an early enrollee. And I would say Travion Barnes did really well at the linebacker spot.
Yeah.
Was really impressed with them. And then, and then Ben Schellenbach, who came in, I was really impressed with him on the O-line. So those would be, three guys. I can name some other ones, but those guys really did well this spring.
And last question from Alex Shaw, FIU alumnus. He asks, will we be seeing a new uniform to replace the Vice Unis FYI winner of the number 6 jersey? #Party6.
Yes. You have to show up on Miami Vice night. But since we auctioned off the other ones, we've got to have another one, right? For the Miami Vice night. So yes, you will see one, and show up and see it. It's going to be another special uniform, and it will be another number 1 college uniform in America, I believe. So it will be exciting to have that.
All righty. So since we wrapped those fan questions up pretty quickly, not as many as the Scott Carr episode back on episode 30. I'm a bit shocked, but let's do some fun rapid fire questions here, Mike, to sort of close out the show. Who is the funniest player on the roster in your opinion?
Oh gosh, funniest player on the roster. Wow. Let me hold on a second. They all got their sense of humor. I don't think I can really pick one guy.
You can name a couple if you want.
2 or 3 is fine. All right, how about one for every position? Offense, defense, special teams.
Okay. I guess Chaden Perry, probably at the quarterbacks. Keyshawn Owens at the running backs.
Okay.
Rowdy Beers at the tight ends.
He's a cool dude.
O-line. Wide receiver. Go to wide receivers next. Probably, I guess, maybe Samaj Demps. O-line, probably. Maybe Daniel Michelle. Defensive tackles. I'm going to go Jamarian Solomon, or maybe Jermaine Carter, the new youngin. Let's see, Todrick Bruton is pretty funny at outside backers.
Okay.
I guess Reggie Peterson at the linebackers, and he has a good sense of humor. DB wise, JoJo Evans. I would say JoJo Evans.
The same thing.
And then at the specialist, oh man, Chase Gable's just hilarious.
There we go.
In his own way. So that kind of gives it. And if we go coaches, Eric Hickson. So
there you go.
Nice.
So there.
What's your favorite place to go grab lunch at on campus, Coach?
Oh, on campus. Oh, wow. That's a great question.
A lot of options.
Oh, man. Probably, I guess, maybe, I guess Panda Express. I go over there.
There you go.
Yeah, all right. Panda Express. So that just, yeah.
There you go.
It's quick, good, small little bowl. Go on.
Yeah.
Jamba Juice. I go to Jamba Juice some too. I like it. So.
There you go. Nice.
There you go.
All the athletes, they say tropical smoothie. That's their spot. Every athlete we ask.
Tropical smoothie. Yeah. Right there past the intramural weight room.
Yeah.
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 You're
My
up,
question
John.
to you is, which coach has the best taste in music?
Which coach has the best taste in music?
Yeah.
Mm,
You can say yourself if you want.
No.
If you're brave.
Oh gosh. Best taste in music. I'm gonna try to think there for a second. I'll just say. Golly, who knows all the different songs? I'll just go Gator. I'll just say Gator does.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Something that the football team likes to pride themselves on is having a different uniform combination every
Yes.
game they play. What has been your favorite uniform combination thus far for FIU?
Great question. Well, of course, eliminating the Vice uniform.
Eliminating the Vice or the Biscayne Blue.
Biscayne Blues are nice.
Or the Biscayne Blues.
Blue on blue is great.
Yeah, that was. I thought that I actually thought our first home uniform this year with the gold pants with the blue jersey, because I saw the gold pants in like the first season they played here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like some old pictures. I saw some, so I ordered those and we liked them with our blue, and then the blue helmet with the big gold panther on it. I thought was a pretty good looking uniform.
All righty. I think we'll wrap it up here. Coach, we appreciate you a lot for having us on. But Jake, I think you're going to wrap it up for us right here.
Absolutely. Well, first thing to ask, but even before that, if we were to get another member of FIU football on the show, great, whether it be a player or a coach, who would you recommend to be on the show?
Recommend to be on the show. Oh, of guys you haven't had before.
Guys we haven't had before. We've
You
had
need to have Rocky and Rowdy beers on here.
There we go. I like that.
They are hilarious, both of them together. You need to have the Beers brothers on here. No doubt about it.
Done.
That's done. No doubt about
it. Easy as money. All right, I like that. Alrighty then, Coach. Once again, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. We'll close out the show with one of our favorite segments. We ask everybody if you have anything you'd like to say to FIU, to the fans, just to anybody. The floor is now yours.
First of all, should be extremely proud of FIU. The university is phenomenal. Everywhere I go, all over the city, everybody talks about it. It touches so many lives. And I think that the next thing is you should be proud of these young men that I coach, that I work with on a daily basis. It's just humbling and awesome to be around them and see all the work and time that they put in, not just in the sport, but in their whole time schedule is so packed to be an excellent student, a person, and a player. And we look forward to seeing you in the stands as we keep improving as a program and make you proud.
All righty. We're going to wrap it up here from Johnny, from Jake, myself, and Coach Mac. We'll see you guys all next week as we preview the FIU Baseball Conference USA Tournament. Should be a fun one for the Panthers. They're now going to Iowa and then heading right to Ruston to take on what should be at the moment is lined up, I believe, Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong, is Western Kentucky. So it should be a fun matchup there. And as always,
thanks again, Coach.
Thanks again, Coach. Paws up, baby.